Yeah, worst possible outcome at the OPEC meeting. Just got some the communique from OPEC, which I don't think has been publicly released yet. No deal. OPEC, it appears, has ended their meeting with Russia with no agreement on additional output cuts. You can see the price of oil there moving lower. Watch the oil stocks. Watch the HYG, which, of course, is the high-yield ETF, which is 11% energy stock. So, again, breaking news from a source inside of OPEC just sent me the communique. They agreed that they would meet again. They would, quote, monitor the situation, and they would basically continue the previous cuts. So this was a major failure by OPEC. No deal, and you can see it reflected in the price of oil.
Brian, really quick, we did dip below 42 on West Texas for a moment, and our understanding from the wires is no date on a future meeting, a new meeting.
Yeah, right now the next meeting is scheduled, Carl, for June 5th. But again, scheduling with OPEC could be very, very much up in the air. Listen, we'll see. If they don't meet, that would be an indication that there's a bigger problem inside of the organization, or at least maybe perhaps with Russia. Oil prices at 3-year lows. The 2.1 million barrel a day deal, remember, that's what they got the last time, may not continue either. The big risk for the oil markets, guys, is if the current deal of 2.1 ends, Libya comes back online, U.S. producers keep producing, all of a sudden we could be looking at an oil situation which is oversupplied by 3 to 4 to 5 million barrels a day. If that's the case, and I don't want to speculate, but based on previous situations like that, oil would be in the high $20 range.
Yeah, Brian, as you're talking, both WTI and Brent down more than 8%. RBOB also down 7% on this news right now. This might be a little bit of a basic question, but just to step back and put it in context, we had been getting reports that potentially Russia was not going to sign on to a deal here. How much of this is due to Russia, and can OPEC still move forward with some sort of cut, even if that country doesn't play ball?
Those are excellent questions. Yes, they could. Answering your second one first. Certainly the Saudis can do what they want. The Saudis can, if they want to just continue to cut their production, they could probably do it. And remember, the problem with OPEC is they agree to things, but then they all go back to their own nations and do what's best for their own nation. The Saudis can do just fine at $40 oil. Now, they can't pay for all their social programs, but remember the Aramco IPO has given them a huge infusion of cash. So they're probably going to be okay. The rest of that, we're going to see what happens. Listen, Russia not a member of OPEC, obviously. Does this sort of end their soft cooperation, if you will? Is the ROPEC or OPEC Plus framework, is this going to end it? And does Russia kind of just everybody go to their corners, guys, and do what they want? Again, I remind you, watch the price of oil. Watch oil stocks, which, of course, have been crushed. And watch the HYG, high-yield ETF. I don't have it up on my screens here at home. I'm about ready to drive into the office. My imagine is it's down. It's 11. Energy is only 4.4% of the stock market, but it's about 11% of the high-yield debt market and an even higher percent of the debt that's coming due in the next 2 years. Again, that's why oil matters from a macro markets perspective.